Hey guys, how's it going? Culprit here, and today I'm going to kick off another new series I'm going to be doing. Well, it's not really a new series, it's just kind of a relaunch of an old series. The original series I did when I first launched this channel was while I was making the transition onto PC after a very long layoff. I was training myself to play with my right hand instead of my left because I'm lefty, but I wanted to use my right hand on the mouse. I called it Reboot Camp, and if you go all the way back in my vids, you'll see them in terrible gameplay, whatever. I'm proud I did it because it set the standard of me showing the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's carried on to this day. You know that. So the PTFO tournament and going up against really stiff competition and things like that has really made me realize that my game is terrible right now, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, mostly I think I've just gotten a bit lazy, a bit sloppy. I've developed leaks in my game. Cheats. I'm not as focused. I've been playing a lot of larger Skype parties lately and things like that, and so because of that, it makes the game a lot more fun, but it takes away a lot of focus for myself. I need to develop better discipline in that regard. That will come in time, but mostly I have some really glaring just holes in my game, and you guys pointed out over and over, you know, a lot of the hip fire, the reloading, things like that. So I want to really work on these specifically, and I know that Close Conquest is coming very quickly, and I wanted to get my game ramped up to where I want it for that, but that remains to be seen if I'll be able to do that given my limited playtime lately. And I mean, speaking of that, that's also another reason my game has declined. I just don't get to play as much as I used to, so usually when I'm playing, it takes me a while to get the rust off and things like that. So, you know, motion sometimes gets the best of me because I'm not playing like I want to, and I tend to go on tilt sometimes. So, what am I going to be doing? Well, I'm going to be revisiting the Reboot Camp idea. I'm going to be doing a Reboot Camp 2.0 series, and it's basically I'm going to break my game down and I'm going to build it back up. I'm going to focus on the basics, I'm going to focus on the fundamentals, and I'm going to focus on these things primarily through TDM play, and I'm going to try to focus on them one at a time. So what's that mean as far as YouTube videos? Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you how I've come up with concepts on how to work on these things. You know, some of them are going to be pretty simple. Hipfire. Well, yeah, I'm going to grab a hipfire gun, and I'm going to run around and hipfire only for a while until I develop a better judgment of the distances and engagements that I want to hipfire in and ones that I don't. I'll probably go like an MP7 or a P90 at first, then I'll probably even grab the M16. Why not? That's the gun I primarily use. You know, just to give myself a better idea and try to, you know, rewire my brain to think about hipfiring more often, because it's not really, you know, my brain's a little too slow right now. I just automatically aim down sights, and before I realize kind of what's going on, I'm already down sights. You'll see me sometimes I'll even aim down sights and then I'll get out of the sights and hip fire because, you know, my brain's like tripping over itself. So it's a thought process. I have to, you know, streamline that and fix it. And the only way to do that is to practice. And that is probably the primary message in this video and probably in the series at large is practice. I was talking to a very prominent pro-level player. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to disclose why I was talking to him in the future, working on a concept. I hope it works out. If it doesn't, well, too bad. But I really hope it will. And he's, you know, iterated to me over and over and over again that people undervalue practice. There seems to be this notion on YouTube that if you just watch a video, you will like absorb it via like osmosis. Your aim will get better by watching X Factor headshot people. And it's ridiculous when you sit and think about it. You know, sure, I guess you could learn some routes. You can learn some hide spots, some jump spots, you know, just by watching. But pretty much, as far as improving your game, you know, the videos are the model. You have to go out and you have to practice it. You have to adapt to your own playstyle, what they're saying. And you have to practice it enough so that you don't even have to think about it. And that's the key. You can't be thinking while you're out there. You know, Battlefield 3 is such a reflex game, such a twitch game, excuse me, and it's an instinct game. So you have to have you know, those things up at full volume. You can't be thinking about, all right, you know, move slowly, stay behind cover, crosshairs head high. You know, you can't be actively thinking these things. You have to practice. You have to make these things instinctual. You have to make them automatic. And you never just, your game's not going to improve, and you're not going to just absorb stuff by watching a YouTube video. You have to practice with purpose. You have to work on these things. You can't just work on them for the first 2 minutes, and then, you know, this guy's got you 3 times in a row, and now you're raging and you're chasing him down. You know, then now you're wasting your time, and as far as getting better. You have to work on specific things, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully by doing this and doing it in a public manner with you guys through videos, I'll get better because I'll get feedback from you guys. I will, you know, hopefully be able to incorporate that into my training and into my overall game. 2, you guys are going to keep me honest. It's going to be like a personal trainer when you're working out, you know. You know that guy's going to be seeing your scale readout. He's going to see your body fat, things like that. So it's going to keep you in line. Well, I know that I'm going to be giving you guys at least 1 video a week on this. So I want to show improvement. So I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stay disciplined. And, you know, hopefully we'll see good results. Like I said, I'm going to primarily be doing TDM. It's just the quickest way, minute for minute, to get the most gunfights, get the most combat situations. Eventually I will venture out to rush and things like that. I'll also primarily be playing solo because I don't want distractions, at least at first. Like I said, it's much mental as it is, you know, physically, twitch, reflexes, and all that. It's actually probably mostly mental with me. So I need to focus. I need quiet. I want to just sit there and focus on what I'm doing. Plus, if I'm running around doing hip fire only, I might look like a doughhole to my teammates, and they might not understand what the heck I'm doing. So, what am I going to be working on? I'm kind of putting together a list, and here's the first place I'll be looking for input on you guys. You guys have watched a lot of my videos. You guys are pretty comfortable pointing out my flaws, and I appreciate that, believe it. So I'm looking for, like, what are some basic tenets that you think, you know, make up a good Battlefield player, and maybe, you know, they don't have to be things I do poorly. They could be things I do well, but, you know, as a greater idea of what makes a good player, what would you say someone should work on? Here's some that I have that I have marked as holes in my game, or at the very least things I want to work on better. And, you know, there's certain things you can always be better at. So first is going to be slow down, a slower movement. I tend to rush. I've always said that I'm aggressive. And I rush around, and I get a little crazy, I get a little fast and loose, and I need to slow that down. There's a difference between running around, rushing, and exerting pressure. And basically what it comes down to is there's a difference between rushing, and there's a difference between pushing. You always want to be pushing, you always want to be putting pressure on the other team, but that doesn't mean you have to be running around and sprinting around corners and things like that. There's a fine line. And it's just an instinctual thing, and you have to get used to it. I've gotten better, a lot better in recent times, and so I'm kind of happy where that trend is going, but it still needs to be worked on, and I see no harm in slowing down. And basically I want to pick my spots a little wiser. Slow down, post up more often. That's what you'll see here. You saw I had a nice little kill streak in here at one point a little while back, where I kind of posted up in a little area, and I got a nice kill streak, got a bunch of kills, and now I understand that translates more into TDM kind of play. But it can be done in Conquest, it can be done in Rush, and it just slows you down. You kind of almost post up at little checkpoints, get a feel for the environment, and then you move on, do it again. You know, station to station, so to speak. I want to use cover more, and while I'm moving, I always want to be aware of cover around me, so that I basically have an escape from danger plan, so that as I'm running across this sector, if I take shots at me, I know exactly where I want to go to get away or to get safe. You know, this one, again, it's just kind of an instinctual thing. It's an awareness. It's an awareness of your surroundings. All right, I'm running this line, but there's rocks over to my right. If I get shot at, I'm going there first. So I'm going to do a couple rounds where I'm just doing that, where I'm running around and I'm going cover to cover to cover, and that's it. Like, there's no out. A lot of times I get caught, like, especially when I'm shooting people, I tend to bleed out. Like, if I'm behind a corner and I'm shooting somebody, for some reason I move my guy at the same time, and by the time I kill that guy, my guy's standing in the middle of the street, and the next guy kills me very easily. So like I said, that's a leak in my game. That's a hole. It's something I want to patch. Big one for me, burst fire. I think this is my biggest problem right now. Yeah, bigger than hip fire, because I feel like this gets me in more trouble, and this is why I'm always screaming that I can't hit anything, because I rely too much on full auto. I was messing around with mag dumping and things like that. I've gone away from that. I want a burst fire. I want a burst fire. I've got a medium burst, 5 bullets-ish, especially with the M16. I gotta get that down. I know how to do it. I'll be doing it. I'll work on it. I'll get it back. I'm confident in that. I want to reload less. Obviously, you know, Panic Reloaders was the name of my team. I reload way too much. I shoot 2 bullets. I have to reload. It's like an OCD thing in my head. I want all the bullets I can have, because what if you don't get that 3rd kill because you ran out of bullets, you know? I need to relax a little bit and realize that I probably get killed more often by being in the middle of a reload than I do at having 28 bullets instead of 31. Another one is always having my crosshairs at head level at all times. What does that mean? Like, if you look at me right here, I'm running right now. Somebody jumps out at me, I might be center mass, I might be chest, depends how far away the guy is. But my crosshairs should be a little higher. They should always be ready. This way, if someone, like right there, if somebody did jump out, God, that's terrible. Wow, and the other guy gets me. If a guy jumps out and you panic pull the trigger, you have a better chance of getting that headshot. And, you know, the quicker you can put that guy down, if you don't know he's there, the better off you're going to be. So, it's something I see a lot of other guys do, a lot of guys talk about, and I feel like it's just a good idea to just be aware of kind of where your crosshairs are and almost have them at head level. You're going to luck out and get a lot of quick headshots. That's going to get you out of a lot of trouble. And lastly, probably, it kind of goes into movement, all that. Peek first, move second. You'll see me a lot of times, you know, in this video I do a pretty good job of peeking, checking my surroundings, and then making my move. But, you know, in general, I just all around rush too much. And I get behind cover, and then I just go to my next place, and I figure it out as I jump around the corner. That's stupid. There's no reason to do that. I should be peeking first, seeing what's out there, and then either making my decision to fall back or continue. And that's something I'm going to work on as well. So, guys, I thank you for listening. This is the first episode of my new Reboot Camp series. I'd like your feedback. If there's other areas you think I should work on, or just players in general should work on, I'd love to hear them. I really would. And the next video is probably going to be me working on one of these concepts. Probably just my movement, because I think that's probably the groundwork, the foundation level. And I'm going to be looking for input, and hopefully you guys will see me rebuild my game and get it to where I want it to be. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I hope you're going to enjoy the series, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.